Hello and a warm welcome to the top 10 of 2020 from Dean Park. In this video I'll look back at the top 10 highlights of rolling stock and locomotives that I've added to the fleet during the past year. The criteria to get in the chart is pretty simple. I have to have bought the locos myself and they have to reside here at Dean Park. So none of the visiting locos that you might have seen in the layout during the year qualify to be in this top 10. I'd be really interested to know what your favourite models of 2020 were, whether here at Dean Park or indeed on your own layouts at home. So please post your feedback in the comments section below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Anyone who watches my channel will just know that I love the Mark III coach. I've over 100 of them in my collection. I was therefore excited to see yet another run of these coaches being announced back in January in the attractive Intercity Swallow livery to go with the forthcoming HST power cars in Swallow livery with the buffers. These coaches arrive in late summer and on the face of it they are lovely models. Hornby's done a generally good job of applying the livery to the full rake. However, there are a number of instances where quality does slip. The white banding around the doors can be untidy and not a fraction of the quality we used to see applied to these coaches. We also have the TGS, which is on the closest to the camera just now, which is a slightly different shade of lower beige, not to mention other differences to the rest of the rake. Being an old Lima tooling, it isn't a perfect match for the Hornby tooled Mark III, which was released in the early 2000s. My final observation that prevents this coach from climbing any higher than 10th is the colour of the dark grey band along the windows. It's not Falcon grey that is used on the power cars, so I suspect the forthcoming power cars won't match the coaches, or they'll match the coaches and therefore be wrong for the power cars. Having waited over 10 years for Hornby to give us a buffered HST in this livery, it would be a shame if they got it wrong. Trundling in at number 9 is the newly released Hornby Mark I in RTC livery. It's great to see Hornby tackling this livery, as RTC rolling stock is extremely popular. As a result, this and other RTC stock released by Hornby this year has sold extremely well. Looking at this newly tooled Hornby product, I'm impressed by the fit and finish that they've achieved. It's not up there with the Bachmann Mark I, which boasts far more separately fitted detail and a more impressive coupling system. However, for the price, this Hornby coach is a good compromise. One area Hornby and Bachmann have differed is the finish of the roof. Hornby have applied the thin ribs on the roof, whereas Bachmann have recently removed those ribs from their Mark I stock. Who's right, who's wrong, you decide. I hope to see Hornby expand their range of RTC stock in 2021, maybe even include a Mark III that was also part of the RTC rolling stock fleet. Now that would sell very well, especially with the forthcoming Class 91, which was seen on test with this coach in the late 1980s. I thought long and hard whether this particular loco would make it into my top 10, but the Bachmann 08 has made it in at number 8. I got it back in March after tracking one down online. I sent it to the model centre to give it a custom weathered finish, and in my opinion it looks stunning. It really does fit in with the Dean Park depot where it's based most of the time. However, the Bachmann 08 is not a great model. The mechanism inside is practically prehistoric, and it can struggle over some point work and dirty track. I'm lucky that all of my points are functioning live frogs, but even then it can stall in some dirty areas of the track due to its limited pickups and short wheelbase. The shape and details look fine, and as I said, the weathering is stunning and really makes some of the detail pop. That's the reason why it's number 8 in my top 10. One of my favourite locomotive purchases of 2020 was the stunning Hornby HST in LNER livery. I think the Hornby HST is a wonderful product, and one I probably own a wee bit too many of, to be honest. However, seeing that these power cars retired from the East Coast Main Line in late December 2019, I thought I would mark this by buying the last ever East Coast livery worn by these iconic machines. Hornby don't disappoint with the HST. It had detail that was way ahead of its time when it was released over a decade ago, and this still stands up very well. I'd like Hornby to upgrade the DCC capabilities by giving more lighting functions that allow the cab light to be switched off when the power car is leading, and perhaps increase the functions by upgrading to a 21-pin decoder. However, apart from that, the HST from Hornby is a fantastic piece of kit and a very worthy 7th in the Dean Park chart. In at number 6 is the excellent Hornby Sea Cow wagon, which was re-released during 2020. I just love these wagons. They're from a time when Hornby really tooled some fantastic products. The wagon is packed with detail, both accurately moulded and separately fitted parts. One minor niggle is that they are not NEM fitted. However, don't fear, as West Hill Wagon Works do a simple and effective 3D printed upgrade to allow you to quickly upgrade them to NEM pockets. The link for that website is in the description below. I have now a decent sized rake of these in my fleet, and they're all been weathered to some degree by the model centre, with some additional work being carried out by me. The departmental Dutch livery is well applied, and under £30 these wagons represent good fire for money, especially when compared to the more expensive Bachmann alternative. I bought several of these in the latest release and all but cleared out my local hobby shop. In fact, I snapped at the last one of these a couple of weeks ago for a friend's Christmas present. They've really sold well for Hornby and deserve to be number 6 in my chart. After much anticipation and excitement, we finally got our hands on the all-new Hornby Mark III sliding door coaches earlier in 2020. I purchased all 10 of these coaches, which will make up 2 5-car rakes. The model itself is new from the wheels up, and straight off it looks the part. Hornby have done a great job of recreating these coaches, and the complex ScotRail livery is very well applied. However, it doesn't seem to be painted on, but more of an overall vinyl. I can't say for sure, but it still looks great when running with the excellent ScotRail power cars in matching livery. Hornby, like so many others, have started to use couplers that are not fixed to the bogies. Now, I'm not against this innovation and progress if it works better than the previous design, but in this case I'm not a fan of the Oxford Mark III style pivoting spring return coupler mechanism. The Hornby one's a vast improvement on the flimsy Oxford effort, but it's still not perfect. However, it makes the coach look more realistic, as you can add the pipework etc. that would not be possible if the coupler was fixed to the bogies. I know that some people have had problems with the couplers, but so far, touch wood, I've found that they work fine. However, they still leave a massive gap between the coaches, as the coupler is mounted really quite close to the end of the coach, and Hornby still uses standard length tension lock couplers. Even the Rocco supplied couplers that you see on the screen here don't bring them much closer together. So I would recommend upgrading to the Hunt Elite magnetic couplers for this product. I've fitted one of my ScotRail Mark III rakes with these, and it looks so much better. The link to these is in the description below. The only real issue I've had with these coaches, which prevents them climbing any higher than 5th in my chart, were the wheels. They were cast and ran very noisily. I've heard several reasons to why this happened. However, I've solved the problem by forking out around £60 to buy packs of Hornby's standard 12.6mm disc wheels to replace the standard fit ones. Overall, a very worthy 5th place in the Dean Park chart for the new Hornby Mark III sliding door coaches. The Accurascale PFA K-Wood coal container wagon makes it into number 4 in this chart. This was a wagon that was released to great acclaim earlier in the year. In fact, I did a full review on these, which can be viewed by clicking the banner at the top right hand side of the screen. Right from the off I was blown away by the quality and detail of these wagons. The amount of separately fitted parts and fine printing is fantastic. The fit and finish of all Accurascale products I've had so far has been flawless, and looking at these wagons and the effort that's gone into them, you'd be expecting to pay a premium price tag. However, under £70 for 3, these do represent good value for money for the modeller who's looking for a premium product at competitive prices in today's market. I was especially impressed at how they managed to get the K-Woods logo printed on the rib container without any distortion or hazing. Compare that to my Hornby Mark IIIs, where some of the lines on a smooth surface coach can't even be applied straight, and you start to appreciate the quality of this Accurascale product. The paint finish is utterly flawless, and Accurascale also produced the best free-running wagons I've ever purchased, which allows a long rake to be hauled without placing strain on the locomotive. This wagon could easily have been higher in my chart, and probably would have been if it operated more widely in my region of interest. There really is nothing between these and my eventual chart-topping product of 2020. Grabbing third spot on the podium is the Cavalex BBA. This deservedly goes straight into third spot in the Dean Park chart. What impressed me with these wagons is the superbly fine detail on the deck of the wagon itself. It really is one of the wagon's key selling points. You can't help but admire the design and effort that's gone into this product. The application of the livery is spot on with no flaws or imperfections in the finish at all. These wagons are very relevant to the region and era in which I model, as they moved steel around the central belt of Scotland when Ravenscraig Steelworks at Motherwell was operating during the 1980s. This was the main reason I was initially drawn to these wagons. You'll see in some of the running shots that I've added some steel loads from Goodwood Scenics, which just add to the realism of the actual wagon itself. Weathering of these wagons is a must, and I hope to invest in that during 2021. These wagons are fairly weighty due to the construction and the materials used, and they run freely enough behind, say, a Class 60 here at Dean Park. I'm not really surprised that they sold out quickly, and I do really hope that Cavalites do a bigger run in future to allow more modellers to add to their steel freight traffic. Narrowly edging its way into number 2 in the chart is the Accurascale PTA Tippler wagon. These wagons were not even on my radar until I saw them run on a fellow modeller's layout, and after a bit of quick research I found that they ran widely north of the border. I tracked down some photographs of them running in Fife, and that really sealed the deal, and I quickly went out and bought myself some. I've 10 of these wagons in total in the simple but eye-catching grey and orange livery that is correct for my region and era of operation. The orange band represents the end where the rotating coupler is fitted. Accurascale continue to impress me with the quality and value of their wagons, and the PTA is no different. The paint finish on these particular wagons is perfect, the detail is accurate, and they've gone that extra mile to include realistic couplers to the inner wagons. Pipework comes fitted from the factory, and even a flashing tail lamp on one of the outer wagons is included. This detail elevated into second spot, as the light not only looks great, but also works, just like the real thing. The fact that you can get 5 bogie wagons for just under £150 also made them a winner for me. These wagons will look even better with a weathered finish, which I'll look into next year. I've also just placed an order for some iron ore loads that have just been released by Accurascale. Check out their website to see these and other loads for their PTA and PFA wagons. The PTA wagon is a worthy second place in the Dean Park chart for 2020. It certainly has been the year of the wagon. Trundling into first place for 2020 is the Hornby Class 60 in stunning grey subsector livery. For years I've wanted a Class 60 running at Dean Park. It represents a loco that appeared at the very later stages of the era in which I model. The Hornby model of this class is beautifully designed and detailed, from the fine mesh grills to the detail behind them. It really is a very good representation of the real thing. A recent review in the Rail Express magazine said that some parts of the model were starting to show their age, but I can't see where. On top of the great looks, it hauls very well. I can haul a heavy rake of 10 BBAs fully loaded without breaking a sweat, and it runs almost silently and incredibly smoothly. This particular item, Bowfell, was released in October 2019, but there's a bit of a screw up at the factory and the subsector logo was positioned too high on the side of the loco. However, all credit to Hornby, they did a fresh run of bodies earlier this year and replaced all the incorrect shells. The finish on the model is very good, but some have noted that you can see the edge between the two grey sections through the logo. Okay, I see their point, but it doesn't detract from the overall model, in my opinion. The Class 60 is one of, if not the best modern image locomotive in Hornby's range, and deserves to be top spot in my top 10 of 2020. What do you think should have been in my top 3 this year? Indeed, what are the top 3 models that you've added to your layout this year? Post all feedback in the comment section below. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this top 10 for 2020. Hopefully I'll add more in 2021 when a lot of the delayed models from this year start to come through. Thanks again for watching. Cheers for now.